My wife and I gave each other hall passes for our 10-year anniversary. Needless to say, things have gone bad. I, Liam, 35, married to my wife, Jennifer, 35, for the last 11 years. We met at the tail end of college and never looked back. We dated for a year, had a 4-week engagement, and got married. Our marriage has been pretty spectacular. It's not perfect. No one's is. We have our arguments, we get heated sometimes, but we are better at this marriage thing after being together for 12 years than we ever have been. Over the course of this time, we have gone on a lot of adventures and have quite a bit of savings. Just before our 10th anniversary, we had the discussion about having kids. We've both agreed that 1 kid was enough. We also talked about when should we start. The consensus was that we should have 1 more child-free year. In this year, we would hit a lot of those bucket list items. We went skydiving, finally took that trip to Italy that was our dream vacation. We also did some typical things like a beach vacation and a couple amusement parks. Our year wasn't just about us together, we also took some effort to do more with friends and each reconnected with some old friends. We didn't have bachelor parties, so we joked this year was our last year of freedom before we had kids. It was on our 10th anniversary before this year of freedom that our decisions would end up causing us the turmoil we're experiencing today. To give some background, my wife and I have always had a great bedroom life. We're both high libido and are into a lot of the same things. We are both aware that we each had a very active past prior to getting together. Nothing crazy, we each just had around a dozen partners prior to getting together. And we each had some special experiences back in college. Since getting together, though, it's been 100% just us. We planned a big day of activities for our 10th anniversary and had a lot of fun. It culminated in a fancy dinner and getting a suite at a nearby nice hotel. During dinner, my wife started asking me questions because she wanted to reminisce about our years together. This was really fun, actually, and we had a long, deep conversation about a lot of our favorite memories. Then my wife asked me, "What's something you miss about being single?" I replied, "Don't get mad at me, but one-night stands." She laughed, which made me feel better, and said, "Yeah, I kinda do too." This got the ball going on us talking about what we liked about an ONS and reliving our first night together. Our relationship started as a post-party hookup. That's when I said, "Well, we've got all these plans for this year coming up. Do you want to add a 1-night hall pass on the list?" My wife looked intrigued. She said, "Maybe, you don't think that's too much? We've never done anything like that." I kept going. "I don't think so. We can talk about it more this week and then decide." She agreed and we enjoyed the rest of our night. We talked more about the hall pass idea later in the week. We ultimately decided to do this. We had 1 year to use it. As we had agreed on our 11th anniversary, Jennifer would be going off birth control. There were ground rules. It was to be a 1-night only pass-off marriage with someone not in our lives. Be safe and smart. Must tell the other when you are using the pass. It can be in the moment like a chance meeting, but a text heads up at minimum was a must. Over this past year, we did all the adventures we planned. I got on the apps and put myself out there looking for a single ONS. It took a few months, but I lucked out and met an attractive 30-year-old woman. Her and her husband were opening their marriage. She wasn't sure what she was wanting out of their arrangement yet, and thought just having a quick one-nighter would be a way to get her feet wet and figure herself out. I was like the perfect candidate, as one night was all I was offering. We met. It was a fun and exciting night. I was able to tell Jennifer ahead of time. She was excited for me, and when I got back the next day, she reclaimed me. I figured it wouldn't be long before she used hers. I was wrong. Over the year, I had asked her if she had any luck finding someone for her HP. She said, No one has stood out for me. The profiles I see are just not appealing. Maybe it's me." We had some talks and she was looking for a younger guy, maybe around 25. She said there are a lot of single guys on, but they always came off as arrogant or immature. It wasn't until we were almost 11 months in that she said she was ready to use her hall pass. I had gotten to the point I was feeling guilty about using mine, thinking maybe she reconsidered and wasn't going to use hers at all. So when she told me she was ready, she also said it was a special situation and wanted to know if she was still inside our rules because she wasn't going to break those. She told me for the last 3 months there's been a 23-year-old intern, Wes, in one of the other departments at her company. They interacted some, but just about work as her department, and his often had to collaborate. She had been attracted to him, even more so after figuring out he wasn't an idiot, but knew coworkers were bad choices. On top of that, he could potentially be hired at the end of his internship, and that's a big HR no-no. A few days ago, Wes came in and put in a notice that he would be ending his internship, as he had been hired for a full-time position in the same field at another company. Their office was all the way across the city, so it would be unlikely for them to be bumping into each other. She wanted to know if this was out of our lives enough. I told her it sounded fine to me, just be safe and smart. She said she would. She wasn't going to propustician him until after his last day was over. Fast forward a week, and the day was here. At the end of the day, as Wes was leaving and had said his goodbyes to everyone, my wife told him she would walk him out. He thought that was weird. When they got to his car, she propositioned him about having a night of fun together. She told him she had one hall pass for one night and would get hotel for them if he was interested. He was very interested, but also wasn't sure if it was true and didn't want to get involved in a marriage. My wife put me on a FaceTime call, and the guy asked if it was real. I told him, yeah, I already used mine. You're her pick, so it's up to you. Jennifer told me he was very excited at that point. He followed her to a hotel, and she came back the next morning, where I returned the favor by reclaiming her. The next few weeks clicked by, and our 11th anniversary got here. That day, she stopped her birth control. About 2 weeks later, my wife was pregnant, which we thought was oddly quick. We booked an appointment and learned today that she is actually about 7 weeks. This lines up perfectly with her hall pass use, but we also have been having sex often around that time, including the next day. So now I have no idea what to do. She's pregnant, and there is a chance it's not mine. I'm so stressed out. She said she needed to go for a walk to clear her mind. I'm just sitting here stewing, trying to figure out what I should do while waiting for her to come back. This is a total mess.